No, we're not here. We're not really here. No.
Just kidding.
Oh, now I think people can hear me at home too. Hi everyone, welcome for another episode of Odyssey, or specifically Light of Thylea playing Odyssey of the Dragonlords. My name is DM David. These are the fantastic folks who are Light of Thylea, and we are missing one, Elena, tonight, as she's in travels and can't exactly play with maybe 2 megabyte a hour connection. So with that, Elena, we miss you very much and wish you were here. Don't worry, we won't have the Ghost Lord ascend you. With that, as far as us getting back
We're
into
gonna tell her until she got back.
with that, super excited to be back because it's been a hot minute, man. Sickness and schedules and stuff like that, and we're so close to the end that I'm just excited to see through. And we have one of them already be gods. Let's see how many of them are going to be gods by the end of this campaign. It's going to be exciting. With that, I think as far as nerd news goes, there is a lot that has happened. I'll keep it to my show corner. Paizo. But the exciting stuff is the War of Immortals. The pre-orders are out now, so be expecting that here hopefully pretty soon. That is mythic stuff. So if you're into Pathfinder, if you like 20 plus campaigns, they're releasing more content for that, which is super exciting. Casting a 10th level spell where you animate an entire ocean and it becomes an elemental that wrecks shit. That's right. It's going to be exciting. Plus, the cover has a really cool, undead-looking, angry-looking unicorn on it, so it looks really pretty, too. Also, they announced that at the end of the month, they're going to release more info about Starfinder playtest, Starfinder 2E. For my part on Polyhedra, be expecting some one-shots. I really want to run some one-shots of Starfinder, the playtest stuff. So if you've been wanting to get your toes wet with that stuff, that's going to be there. Anything that you guys have for nerd news before we get back in?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh. I think we have
Go,
plotting
Clancy. Say
Grandma
whatever you want to
Clancy.
say.
She has something.
Just Dragon Age Veilguard, and then also, even though it's not like in the same kind of niche corner, I'll share my fun nerd news. New pack is coming out for Sims 4, and you get to be the Grim Reaper's assistant, and you can pre-order it, and it comes out also on Halloween. And they're doing an event right now for said release drop. So if you like doing that, you should get in on that because there's some cool rare stuff.
I thought Sims 4 was just, what is it called? Wild and Wicked Whims or whatever that's called. That's all that Sims 4 is nowadays, right? That's what TikTok has told me at the very least. I haven't played Sims 4 in
Check your algorithm then.
a long time. It feeds me the things. I've built it brick by brick. But speaking of the Grim Reaper, we are doing an Escape from the Graveyard event one shot on the server on discord.gg/polyhedra. You don't have to have a dead character to be participating, but we're doing this in the honor of the 100 plus dead PCs that are commemorated within the graveyard. That's right, folks. We have killed over 100 player characters in the 4 years that Polyhedra has been around. The 3 deadliest GMs, which will never include Clancy, don't worry about it. Sign up for her games. You will survive. Oh, God. See? There they are going to be hosting this. So that'll be Rocco, Ken, and myself. If you want to play, you can bring any character. It'll be, I think, about level 10 or level 12. There will be a mechanic, much like the game Hades, where you're going to be able to buy some items in between rooms that you're clearing, and then you'll get to fight the big bad evil guy of our graveyard. So stay tuned for some more details.
Is it you? I bet it's you.
I'm not the deadliest GM, so I don't know if that would be even appropriate. I'm not the Lord of Bones on the server. With that, I think let's get back into it. What do you guys say?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Do it. Previously on Light of Thylea, the group has been on a true odyssey. Y'all started as traumatized nobodies scattered throughout the land of Thylea. Whether you had aspirations to become Dragonlords or just stable enough income to maybe buy food instead of having to steal it. Ultimately, you all found your ways together. You defeated tyrants, you defeated gods. And now you find yourself communicating with the not so completely dead corpse upon which you have stood since your birth. The land of Thylea. The corpse of Thylea. As Kintimani, the 100-handed god of war and destruction, had slain his own partner, his own wife, and drowned her in these very waters, the land then forming Thylea. He there, not so much raised, but I suppose left his children behind to do with the land as they pleased. And we all know how Sidon and Lutheria went about that. Lutheria is now exiled. Sidon is dead. His spark served as the fuel for another's ascension. Because you are on the recrafted, reshaped Mount Vulcan, at the top of which now sits the Palace of the Empyreans, that the Eight had shaped in their honor. There, you received the help and maybe a little bit of resistance from some of the remaining Eight, the ones that you didn't kill yet. I think there's a theme. And there, Yanni, you used the Theogenesis spell for the first time. The spell that Helios had helped you craft. The spell that, through the use of a spark and the help of a greater god, could ascend a mortal to demigod status. A true demigod. One with the power to shape reality around them as they saw fit. You had debated for a long time, since you first knew about the divine artifacts and the capability to cast a spell. So since the first time you looked in the back of the book and saw that there was a spell called Theogenesis, on who was going to be the god who would ascend. We went back and forth. For a while there, Daphne was the front runner. Daphne 2024 was going to be the god of the people. But in the end, Brissa, with a Raiden, took the lead. And Brissa, you, with the blessing of Bahamut, or as Valis and the others know him better as Paladine, ascended to a demigod status yourself. It was a magnificent scene. The ripples of reality that shook through your very bones, flesh, sinew, and soul are still tingling and itching as you're just standing within the presence of Brissa in her divine form. Valis and Narcissus, brother and sister, in humanoid form but true dragons, are upon their knees. Valis has tears flowing from her eyes. Narcissus' mouth just hangs open as the magnificence of the beautiful dragon, the divine dragon, that Brissa now has become, stands before all of you as she lowers herself back down after her and Scylla had been careening through the sky, enjoying each other, the flight, the sun. And for a moment, the stress of the last weeks, frankly, the insanity of the last years, actually melts away. The joy that you see on Brissa's draconian face, the laughter escaping from Silas' maw, it just seems to melt it away. The happiness that Brissa feels in that moment is just washing through all of you, more infectious than the highest Riz character you've ever been exposed to, aka Lyra. Yanni. It worked. It fucking worked. You have accomplished the most complex and powerful spell ever cast by a mortal on Thylean soil. What's going through your head?
Oh. especially given the somewhat delayed enacting of the actual ascension after the spell was finished. You know, Yanni was kind of like sitting there like, okay, what went wrong? And then all of a sudden, boom. And so he just kind of stands there for a second, like, and then something starts to kind of stir, like, oh my God, I can't believe, you know, like, he finally admits there was a little part of him that just hoped the spell would fail, that like the formula was wrong and it wouldn't work, and then he'd be off the hook for any of this. And he starts to turn a little green around the gills, and he vomits a little bit. Yeah, he can't quite choke it back completely. No. And I rolled a con save, and I only rolled a 13, and I set the DC at 15 for myself. So anyway,
Leto comes over, and she kind of like rubs your back as she's just like, oh.
Sorry. The enormity of what I just did kind of hit me hard. And he kind of mutters to himself, and I don't know if Leto is Daphne's mom, so I know Darian didn't get her hearing from Leto, but I don't know if Leto has similar hearing or not, but she'd be the only one who could probably hear. I might go, damn it, Brissa, don't make me regret it. But like mutters to himself more than anything. So yeah.
She just goes, deep breaths. Love, can you bring me some water?
Yeah, Mom.
Thank you, sweetie.
He quickly prestidigitates away the mess he made.
Hands you the water.
Thanks. All right, give me a minute. We can try another one.
She nods. Lyra, you're standing off to the side a bit as you and Darian actually just look over to each other, and you realize you started grabbing hands. You're just holding hands for a second as all of this happened. She kind of just gives you a little bit of a squeeze. As you look over towards Brissa in her draconic divine form, in your heart of hearts, do you think Lyra, on a scale, on a spectrum, if you want to think of it that way, do you feel jealousy? Do you feel true happiness? Or is your heart so traumatized at this point that there's just nothing?
It's definitely both, but I think she would definitely be happier for Brissa. If it was anyone else, it would probably be a 50-50 split. But knowing Brissa and everything that she's gone through, that we've all gone through, and how I think just thinking about the possibilities of what Brissa can do for herself now that she's achieved this position, she's happier for Brissa, but definitely still a little jealous. Even knowing that she plans on asking Yanni to try her after everyone else, like after Yanni has done it, because she still fully expects Yanni to do it first. She's still jealous, even with the thought of being able to get there as well.
Darian gives you a squeeze. And you can see in her eyes that she, with her passive insight, she just knows you. She knows the emotions going through you. And there's just a reassuring smile from your fellow Fate.
I think even though Yanni made a good point when Lyra was externalizing her internal feelings about whether it was the right thing to do for the three of them, and if it would screw up the whole situation that the Fates have in killing these colossal titans. And Yanni making the point that if Thylea didn't want you to do it, she wouldn't have given us the ability to do it. She's still scared to do it.
Daphne, you see a tired-looking Hephaestus plop down next to you after you handed over the water. And he just looks over towards Brissa. You know, part of me is kind of glad that I'm not the only one who carries Thylea's burdens now.
Are you saying that loud enough for your fellow 5 to hear?
He looks over towards the vile trickster, who kind of gives him that sidelong look. How much have you done? He just goes, a lot of partying. Exactly. The Fish Queen, she's done a lot. But then she withdrew. Putting your head in the water is not exactly a way to save things. Hiding within a palace. What you have done was more befitting of gods than the actual gods have done.
Side eye the former god Malice for like a half second, and then
she, as you look at her, she has gotten off of her knees, and she looks the most demure that you have seen her. Kind of like, almost like she's waiting for Brissa to turn to her, waiting to be acknowledged, waiting her turn to speak.
I don't know how to feel about that. I don't like that. That's This is weird.
I mean, if Brissa notices, she would definitely like acknowledge her and be like, "No, don't do that. Like, friends don't do that. You've never done that before. Please don't."
She goes, I'm sorry. It has been centuries since I last heard, felt, saw His divine grace, and to see it upon you, made flesh incarnate. I always felt like an imposter, Brissa. I was a goddess, but I was so limited in what I could do. I was a goddess, but I did so little, changed so little. And I was one of Paladine's most faithful, a priestess in training, bonded to a Dragonlord, to a paladin of Paladine. And my rider died. And we were losing. And my mother negotiated what we would ultimately use to get our ascension. I don't know how to describe it to you. Maybe you don't feel the same because you clearly have received your ascension as a token, a gift from Paladine, but to me it felt like blasphemy. I hated being a goddess. I worshipped him with every scale of my body. But then I became a god. And the goddess that I was of a people that is not mine, and a world that I'm not from. And I was placating that feeling, pretending to be even a claw of the magnificence that he is. And despite my worship, despite getting to play act as a goddess, ultimately I think this is it. This is the blessing I always wanted. But you know, I am so happy to see that you received it. Because you succeeded in everything that I wanted to.
She would just like, I guess I don't know if she knows how, but she will try to think about transforming back into herself. And
At the thought, you just start to shrink down, and you turn back into your humanoid form.
and then she'll just walk over it, and she'll just give her a hug, and she will tell her that you did great things for Mitros and for its people. I don't want you to ever think badly about what you had done while you were a goddess, and people believed in you, and that is what mattered, and you helped them, and I hope to look to you and, take your counsel on the many decisions and things that I imagine will be happening here. So.
And she begins to cry. It's not sobbing, she doesn't fall apart, but it's just rivers of tears that flow freely. As you can feel her body just kind of sink into you, grabbing you.
She would just continue to hold her and try and give her comfort and warmth and light.
I will move the clock forward until any time that you want to stop the players. You are now demigods and people with the power to cast Wish at will. The story now is being told just as much by you as it is by me, as I try to desperately hold on to the shreds of the guardrails that are this campaign at this point.
There is something Yanni would bring up with Brissa once the initial craziness of all of this kind of subsides. And he needs, he may not be mechanically exhausted, but he needs a little bit before he tries that again. So, maybe a few minutes later, hey Brissa?
Yes.
You got a sec?
Of course.
Velas pulls back and she just kind of squeezes your shoulder, gives you a nod.
Yanni walks over and kind of, pulls her away from the group just enough that he feels like he knows he could use the ring, but I don't know. He just kind of wants to talk out loud. Okay, I know this is all brand new.
Yep.
Let's see if you can find a way to lift that curse from Leto.
I think there potentially would be a way. I think it would be similar to what you do with, where you just kind of will things, when the wish, or I guess what Lyra does, and the wishing. But I think they tried that, didn't they? Or did they not try that?
I mean, Carpathos tried it, but Carpathos isn't a god. And if everything worked like it was supposed to, you are now. So that might be different.
That is fair. I think I could do that, but it would tire me out. So I don't know if is it something that we want to do now? Are we going to go fight is what I'm trying to understand. I think, if I do it, it will exhaust me, kind of similar to Hephaestus.
Yeah, we probably don't want that right away.
I am more than willing to do it, like, after we deal with the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's possible or not. Like I said, I feel the power on the edge there, but I don't know if it would actually work. Like what type of a cursor is. I mean, I feel like I could try a greater like a curing disease type thing, but I feel like that would have already if
Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to work. But yeah, I really don't know what kind of powers you have, so I had to ask because I feel like Daphne could use a little bit of a win going into all this.
I have a question. Above table. So we have made kind of a wish loop, and I just want to clarify something before I even ask it in the game. So, becoming a god, you lose the normal drawbacks of wish, but now casting wish gives you a level of exhaustion that can only go away by a long rest.
Well, specifically spending 8 hours in your temple. It has to be a temple.
Yeah.
Oh, right, in the temple. Right. The Promethean fire that Daphne has attuned lets you cast wish without the drawbacks at all, as long as you're a divine creature. So if Brissa attuned just for the time being to the Promethean fire, could she try and cast wish without the exhaustion?
Sure.
Well, I just didn't know if one overrode the other.
No, that's the rules as written. I didn't think about that, but absolutely it does.
Okay. But we're not in this conversation, so.
I mean, if Yanni did say that we were speaking out loud, so if you heard, then you could bring it up. You are also fate, so you kind of just know.
How dare you?
She drinks.
Dare you
Daphne
use
drinks.
my
That's
title
better
in
than
good
those things.
spirit? How dare you? Okay, yeah, okay.
But yeah, so I'm more than happy to try it after we deal with the immediate threats, because I feel like it's just going to exhaust me. And, if we're planning on hanging out for a week, then sure, we can do it and build out a team. But I don't think that's what our plan was.
Darian pokes you in the side, Lara. Psst, you should tell her.
I have an idea. If we are waiting for Yanni to recover from everything that just happened.
I mean, don't need too long, maybe a half hour or so,
If Daphne was willing, could use the fire to try and use wish to get rid of the curse on her mom, and
Done.
in theory it shouldn't really give you any gross after effects.
If it will help my mom, absolutely. We'll practically throw the fire.
You stab Brissa with it.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, I mean, Brissa will nod and be like, "All right," and she will find a little spot, on a bench, that's next to where the Yanni was doing his work, so that she can watch the next one, and she will begin to play with the fire and attune to it.
Alrighty. Anything in particular that you guys want to do during that short rest? Otherwise, we'll just skip to the attunement finishing.
I think Lyra's just waiting at this point for Yanni to be able to go for round 2.
Jesus Christ.
Phrasing?
No, she said what she said. She that what she said?
Listen, Lyra wants to be ascended too, alright?
All right. So Yanni kind of comes to grips with things and. Okay. Who's next?
I thought it was you next.
I don't think I can do it. Not right now, anyway. It's more responsibility than I'm comfortable with.
Darren goes, I want... No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I was gonna say I think Lyra would just kind of look at everyone else because she doesn't. Everyone knows she wants to do it, but she doesn't want to look greedy.
Brissa will look at Lyra and be like, Lyra, I think you would make a great god. And I think you just need to believe in yourself and take the step forward.
Lyra starts to panic because she's worried that maybe being a god even won't make her feel good about herself.
Oh.
Even godhood doesn't get rid of her insecurities.
It sure doesn't.
Alright, well, Yanni, if you feel up to it.
All right.
Let's say at this point, Brissa, you also finish attuning to the weapon as you feel the power of the Promethean fire course through you. You can feel the portion of a god that was taken. It's almost like you're holding an appendage of another celestial being in your hand now. Something that wasn't really apparent before, but now the resonance, you recognize it. You realize that Pharaohs, in crafting this weapon, killed a god and used a portion of the god's body, reforging and reshaping the very molecules of it into the shape of the Promethean fire. And part of you kind of just intrinsically recoils. It doesn't have any mechanical side effects, just to be clear about that.
No, it is gross. It's like beating someone with like a appendage, like a limb.
Yeah, you suddenly have word slang in your hand. You're like, what the fuck?
I will let that be done. Did you guys know this was like made out of like a god? Like, you know, it's kind of gross, to be honest. Like, you know,
instead
it's
of
like
made in China, it's made out of God. It suddenly appears on the front of the shaft.
Like it is, you know, it's like, you know, I don't know if it's like he took his femur or something like that and made it, or, you know, it's similar type thing, but more gaudy, I guess.
What do we know? I mean, obviously, Promethea made it, right?
With Pharaoh's
Was it made?
guidance.
Right.
So
but it
Pharaoh's-
wasn't made from either of them?
No, Pharaoh's, as far as you guys know, descended from the skies and visited
Right.
the city of the Sirens, and
Before it went underwater.
taught Promethea how to craft the weapon and really all three of the divine artifacts. But it's not written down how it was crafted. Obviously, you can't ask Promethea anymore. You certainly cannot ask Pharaoh's anymore. But now it makes more sense. And as you know, Pharaoh's was a celestial, right? And as a celestial, he must have served a god. Like, he was not a god himself. He was a servant of a god. And the way that
Well, that's what he told us, right? Is that he served a god and then he like turned against him and killed him, didn't he?
And it seems like not only did it kill the god of which he was a part of, but then he used his own god's body to create these weapons to try to create more gods.
That is kind of gross. That's a little gross. A little icky. Feels a little icky.
You're just letting you guys know, but do we want to do that?
You look at Brissa's wing like, oh, that would make a really cool hammer. And I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Do you want me to do it now or post Yanni, second god? I'm attuned to it.
So it's It's up to you. I
Uh,
don't think
we could,
it's
And also
gonna
probably
impact
Daphne.
what I'm doing.
let's do it now then. I would ask you guys help me think about what I should be wishing, like for this, because I feel like I have to. It has to be very specific, right? If I, just say like, "Hey, she's cured of a disease" or something like that, right? Then I don't know. Maybe your mom has like
Oh,
the flu or
Oh,
something. And then
Yeah,
oh,
good
okay.
save.
Good
Good
save.
save.
Good
Awkward.
save. Yeah.
Good save there.
I would also maybe, because if the vampiric curse is what's keeping her alive, I would try and specify that she doesn't immediately die when the curse is removed from her.
that would be super awkward. I would, be.
Not the second.
Lyra's
mom.
just
Yes,
having
that's fine.
Lyra's just having flashbacks of us unpetrifying Darian's mom and her immediately dying because her organs were gone.
Oh god, that's right. Hold on, guys. Wait, maybe you shouldn't try to help fix my mom.
I was just thinking, like, he doesn't.
Maybe we should double check that all of her organs are still in her body.
Leto gives you a look of like, what the fuck?
Mom, I don't know. I don't know.
She's probably all like, "Just stay back."
I'm actually cool with being a vampire.
This is great.
Oh yeah, did we ask Leto?
She just sings, ha 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 ha.
No.
That makes me think.
No.
That makes me think
No.
you want to stay a vampire.
I mean, we did
She
never
just
just
looks
ask
down at
her.
her
Like, maybe
arms,
she actually wants
and
to
she
be
goes,
an immortal undead
This is the
vampire.
skin
thing.
of a killer, Lyra.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
but
guess I could.
truly,
I
we
could
didn't. We never really asked her if she wanted us to get rid of it, did we?
I mean,
mean, yeah,
Leto
she might want
would
to be.
obviously be okay with it. Like, she does not want to be a vampire. She does not want to have to exist in whatever way Queen Helen and Carpathos did. What she would say is, I want to grow old. I want to die. I had my part in shaping what tiny fraction I got to of history in Thylea. I accomplished what I wanted to, and my greatest accomplishment should now take over. Should have a chance to run things. No, I've no desire for any of the powers that come with whatever in Hades' name this is, but listen, if you can get rid of this, if you can make me whole without ripping out my organs, I would prefer that. So, sure. But the organs stay inside. I do want to be clear about that, right? You're sure you can do this?
Oh,
We
that
never
reminds me of a
removed-
joke.
Oh no.
What's the hairiest side of a bear? The outside. Sorry, had to break the tension.
No, it's
We've all
okay. I was going to
we've
make a
snapped.
joke about don't
We've all
rearrange my
snapped.
guts, but it's that one works too.
I would like to clarify that
No.
that we never removed or lost organs. They just weren't there when we unpetrified someone, and we didn't double check. Because how do you check the organs of a statue? Also, just because I feel it only necessary to go over all of the options, I hear you and I respect your decision fully. And if we can get rid of this, awesome. A part of me does just want to point out that I think we are still planning on turning your daughter into a god. And if you stayed like this, would be able to spend eternity alive with her.
She looks to you, Daphne.
Jeez, thanks for putting that on me.
Our souls remain within the Nether Sea. Part of me, I suppose, will always exist, and as a god, you can come visit me sometimes.
Turn you into a dragon, you would still turn old, but you'd like turn old really slow.
Turning my mom into
mean-
a dragon.
I'm willing to bet that wouldn't fix the curse. And if you'll recall, up until about 10 minutes ago, you were a nymph and were going to live close to forever. So that is also an option.
Ma, I love you. I respect you. If you want to grow old and not have to worry about the world for the rest of your life, then I think you deserve that break. If you want to stick around, though, I won't complain.
No. You know what? No. I don't want to be a cursed vampire. I don't want to have some weird thing that Sidon or Thylea threw at some people, and I don't want to be beholden. I don't want to have the fate. I don't want to have the fate of Carpathos. I want to be me. Let me die with dignity as an old woman, having fun with my future husband.
I'm sorry, future husband?
I'm going to propose to him after that. Are you kidding me? Of course I'm going to marry that man.
All right.
Do I have your blessing, future goddess Daphne, my child? Whom I bore out of my womb,
is your mom,
whom
man?
I went through childbirth for?
What's happening?
And you've still got those abs.
I do still have those abs, that's right. It takes a lot of work. Do you see this line? It's weird. It started after it really happened during, being pregnant. It just pulls all of your muscles apart. And it just stayed there. Too much information. Daphne always gives me a hard time about this.
Just not everybody's into, body sculpting, Mom.
Why not?
I don't know. Looks
around. Really, the only person that is not sculpted in some way is the trickster, who's just mowing down on pastries over his what? She shakes her head. Just turn me back to what I was, what I am.
A badass. Okay.
She does that fake
You're back. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess shall we do it? I think I'm just going to. This is definitely not her doing it. Say those magic words that Leto has never been afflicted with the curse.
That she had never been afflicted with the curse?
Yeah, I put it to the group. I'm not doing it yet. That's why I said those magic words. I'd put in that to the group as a discussion.
I just because I know witches are tricky. Maybe not never afflicted with the curse, but I wish Leto was restored to before she was afflicted to the curse, or
What about her original form?
But we should specify before the curse.
Her original form before the curse.
Man, wishes make me nervous in general, but when the GM's
but also
lawyer, it just makes it that much worse.
He turns her into a baby. It was before the curse.
Yeah, I was just thinking that it might turn her into a baby.
You guys are legitimately worse than I am. just like to
your
state
mom.
that. You guys have cast, I think, Wish 3 times, right? Right?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
And out
it
of
was
those
always Jason,
3
except
times
for
that it was cast, at what point did it have maniacal D&D RPG horror story implications?
But that doesn't mean it can't, David. That doesn't mean it's not on the table.
I can just wish for her to be cured of it, and then that should be it, right?
Right, but I don't want her to die. What if getting rid of the immortal curse makes you dead?
Yeah, be cured of it and remain alive.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. We all agree with that?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. And Bersa will say, "I wish Leto is cured of her curse and remain alive," and be holding onto the fire, concentrating. through the fire.
Lyra
20.
Lyra does the scene from Ghost with Brissa because she's the only other one that's cast Witch. This is what
Yes,
it
yeah, yeah,
feels
this-
like.
Oh my god, that movie's older than you are, isn't it?
I don't know. I owned it on VHS, so I've seen it multiple times.
It came out in the late 80s, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I mean, definitely older than I am. Yeah, it came out in the 80s. No, 1990, July.
Was
It's
it
still
90?
older than me.
Yes, it is older than me, but I have seen it.
Brissa, you take the Promethean fire, and where it usually has kind of like that purplish fire to it, as you grasp it and as you attune to it at the end of it, it is a silvery fire that burns across the entire weapon. You step towards Leto. She kind of winces at just being in the presence of the divine light that you give off naturally. Seemingly the curse already starting to take hold in her veins. We're going to learn about an important mechanic that I'm glad you guys are learning about now, instead of the end game. Casting Wish on something not affected by a god is fairly easy. The second that you try to do divine power against something that another god put into place, shit becomes harder. And that is even just assuming that you're on the same power level as this other divine being. If there is a divine being that is of greater power than you, those mechanics are going to be definitely stacked against you. Something to keep in mind, as even in god form, you will be going up against Kentinani, a greater god.
Right, we're still just
war
little
and
BB
destruction.
gods.
But the spark that gave you your divinity, Brissa, was the spark that gave rise to this curse in the first place. Or at least one of the two sparks. The other one belonging to Lutheria. As you reach out and you try to channel your understanding of changing Leto's body, you are truly shaping. You're not just wishing that magic itself fixes reality the way that you want it to. You are shaping reality to fit your image of it, and you suddenly feel that resistance. The first thing I would like you to do is make me a medicine check.
You're good at those, right? With your high wisdom score?
I mean, my wisdom is 20.
It's
good now, it's good now.
In the team
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
so
That's true. That's true. That's
is
also not
not
saying
bad
much.
now.
We're a pretty unwise group of people.
it's true. It's ironic that the person that loves oaths the most became the wisest person.
Also, I don't know if I can interfere in divine opposition. I do have a fate dice that I could use at any point if we feel necessary.
Oh, that's a one. So,
I do have to do it before you roll the dice, though.
Do you?
I do. How many of us have inspiration? I
We
have
all
one.
should at this point, I think.
yeah,
I just didn't know if
I'd
we've
get
used
fine.
any
Of the
since
day.
the
I would
start
get
of the day.
fine. I'm tossing mine to you.
My fate dice is a 15. Just keep that in the back of your mind while you're doing this.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess. Do we want? I mean, do we want to do that now?
Reroll
Or
the medicine check? Well, I can't use the fate dice if you've already rolled the dice. It has to be an
Okay.
inspiration now. So,
Oh, okay. So now just do a reroll since I'm using Clancy's.
yeah. We have to decide to use the fate dice before you roll.
Just don't roll
Another medicine
one.
check. 17. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Significantly
We're
better.
good.
You try to suss out where the problem is, and as your divine eyes seem to kind of pierce through the skin, you can see a darkness that has spread out from where she was bit, and it's indeed almost like this virulent necromantic growth that is starting to go, and you can see that her veins where they have been touched have been starting to turn black, changing the body. She's probably a mere couple of days away from actual death, and then when she dies, she will be reborn into, well, not really born, she will just rise into the vampiric entity that she will be at that point. This is going to be added to the following check. But before we get to that check, As you press into that, you can see that surrounding these black tendrils reaching into Leto's body, as you kind of have like an X-ray vision through it. You can see that there's blue and green light that's just oscillating, seemingly like pulsating through those black vines throughout her. And you recognize those divine powers, Sidon's and Utheria's. And something resonates within you as you see those blue flashes of electricity coursing along that, and you simply snuff them out. Go ahead and just type 25, or /R space, just 25. You don't roll anything, you just type 25.
So just 25, or /R25?
/R space 25.
And then hit enter?
Mm-hmm. Hey, you rolled a 25.
I was pretty sure this was going to happen. I just wasn't sure where you were going.
I was like, wait a second.
Sometimes the joy is just making other people do silly shit. You reach out. You reach out. It's because I overthought it at the beginning and then I realized about halfway through that we could have just typed 25, and I was like, no, we're committing to this fucking bit. You reach out and you suddenly push against the coursing emerald opalescence as it just shimmers there like a light buried underwater. And suddenly you're taken out of this place. You find yourself in what appears to be just pure blackness, as standing before you is the grandeur of Lutheria herself. She kind of has her back to you as she turns around and looks at you, a frown upon her face. What? She looks you up and down. Huh.
Hello. It's I'm going to be completely honest. I did not expect to see you.
Interesting. So you found all the divine artifacts?
We did, yes.
And so I assume you have consumed my brother's soul?
Yes.
So,
So he will never return?
He will never harm you again.
Her green eyes bore into you. A wicked smile at first, that softens into a genuine smile, appears. So what is this? Let me... Carpathos curse. You're trying to lift it.
Not on Carpathos. Somehow Daphne's mother also got cursed, and so we are trying to fix her and cure her so that she can hopefully, grow old and be happy and live her life fully without being undead.
I could oppose you, but I don't want to. But I am worried still, especially now that you have begun to ascend yourselves. You see, my worry, Brisa, or whatever title you're going to be going by soon, is that you will come after me.
I have no intention of coming after you. I don't, harbor any ill will towards you. I mainly just want to help my people of Mitros. So I don't think any one of us harbors any ill will towards you.
Her eyes glint. Are you willing to oath it?
that I will not come after you?
Yes.
Yes, I can oath. But the oaths don't really work anymore, so I don't know how that
Oh, sweet
how that one
child.
really works.
She steps forward and you can see the green fire seems to come off of her shoulders and then cascade down her like a mantle. Where do you think my father learned that trick? She holds her hand out for you to grasp.
Brissa will put her hand in Lutheria's hand.
As the green fire encapsulates your hand. I swear that I will not oppose your attempt to lift the curse from this woman, Leto. She
I swear I will not. I swear I will not come after you, or your 2 daughters.
She nods. Roll me another 25.
There we go. I'm at 50.
Yeah! actually, you're at 67. And the last thing that I need you to do is roll me a D100.
All right.
Hey guys, the inspirations work for these two.
I do now. Yeah, I remember that ping. Come on.
Oh,
86.
okay. Well, that's pretty good. So.
Yeah, we got that.
Brissa opens her eyes, and you can see that her eyes shine with the same brilliance that the Promethean fire gives off. And Leto lets out a scream of anguish. She drops to her knees as she grasps at the wound that she has from Helen's bite, and she begins to bleed. It gushes down her side, and you can see Berserk taking the spear and pulling backwards. It's almost as if the tip of the weapon itself is connected to Leto as she pulls back and the darkness bubbles out of her. It's not red but black blood that shoots past her fingers, out of her body, pulls down at her knees around her. And it's almost like this sickening acidic acid smoke that just kind of rises around and out of her and then completely dissipates. Leto is upon the ground, propping herself up with one arm and her knees as her other hand holds at her neck wound. She kind of looks up towards you, Brissa, and she immediately starts checking her internal organs. Just like grabbing at her stomach. I think it worked. That hurt. That really, really hurt. Whew. It was worse coming out than going in. Whew.
So, like, inspect herself and be like, no, I don't have any healing. I'm like,
That's how I know she's feeling better. She's making jokes.
She will give her a heal.
And the wound closes up. It seems like the scar still remains. But you know that Leto has been cured of the vampiric curse.
Well, I think it worked.
Thank you.
I met Lutheria again, you know. I think before she like had severed the connection with Lutheria, she wanted to like impart the idea of Lutheria that she has people hunting her. That to give her that knowledge that something that I'm totally spacing on the name right now. That Brissa would remember that. What?
She would
that
give
Carpathos
her
is
appreciation
coming after.
As she went, thank you for letting me know. The path that you're on, let me give you a warning then as well. It won't be long before the presence of these 8, and you now, is going to draw my father's scorn. He is going to unleash the beasts that he has trapped within my domain, my former domain. By your expression, she goes, all right, so that already happened. I get it.
Yeah.
Girl, you left. A lot has happened.
Then let me give you different advice. Each one of these beasts bears a weakness, and as a god you can now properly exploit it. But I don't know if you want to do that. I think my true advice to you would be to come to do what I do, since you cannot come after me anymore. Cannot join me, but to leave my mother's corpse. To try something else. Because these creatures that he has trapped, they are nothing compared to him. If you manage to kill these behemoths of his, he will come. He will slay. He is. You know how I looked, or maybe must have looked to you when you were but that little girl with a curse in her arm because she touched something she was not supposed to. Begging for a cure at a temple in Mitros.
I do remember, yes.
She takes your hand and there is a genuine fear in her eyes as she goes, "That is how I feel about my father."
She will like cup her hand and she will just tell her, I think we can do it, and I will let you know when it is done.
The things that would help you against the behemoths. The crab. If you could bring ice. And so you already... You could just tell me these things, you know, I don't have to...
Crab's gone.
You know? Alright, well then let's talk about the thing called the Tarask. Probably the most terrifying of all the... Seriously, that one too? Okay, are there any of them still left at this point?
Right?
Or...
Yeah. The dragon thing.
Tell her I did it. Tell her I killed the Tarask. I need her to know that I was the one that killed the Tarask.
Lyra killed the Tarask.
Okay, so the other three are still alive. That's
yes.
Not good, but good. Okay, at least they can still feel helpful.
So, 3 is better than 5. You know, I'd rather do 3 than 5.
That is true. Well, with the behemoth made of shadow, bring light into its core. Outside of the Tower of Sidon, past the gate that leads into the Astral Sea, my brother trapped a son. He had used it for experiments, trying to empower him further, and it worked to a certain extent. Summon forth the sun inside of the core of the Shadow Behemoth. Use your godly powers. I'm sure you'll figure out a way. Just temporarily, though, or otherwise you will doom Thylea.
That makes sense, yeah. Putting a sun on top of the planet would,
Inside
melt
of.
everything.
That is probably the most... Just... The shadow will contain the sun temporarily and it will burn it away and then you teleport it back out. You'll figure it out, I'm sure, as you get to it. My brother, the thing that has become more kraken than God these days, drag him to land. He will be invincible as long as he touches the water. Make sure that there is none around him. And he will be delicious, like calamari.
That's the Cthulhu guy. I was like, wait, which one is this? The Cthulhu guy. I forgot about him.
Finally, for the dragon, you must simply find the one that is currently in control. Its heads switch back and forth on which one is the prime. If you can find the brain that controls the whole, it doesn't matter if you cut off 1 or 100. That is the one you need to go for. So be on the lookout. Scan the thoughts. But Brisa,
I appreciate that info. Thank you.
For my father, there's only one who could even attempt to defeat him, and she is dead. she is a shadow of herself. I don't know if she has what it takes. You might die in the attempt, even in this admittedly magnificent form. And that's when they bang. That's right, Clancy.
You know what? Anymore? Go off, do your own thing. I ain't judging.
She's been with the castle for
She
so
is-
long. Listen, she needs to broaden those horizons. My God.
Yeah, man, that's fair. It's fair. She is the one that is helping and guiding us. Lyra is now the fate, and so is Daphne and Darian, and so I think she is the one that is guiding everything. So I hope that she is ready. I think she is ready. She said that she's ready, at least. Thank you for not resisting.
I am genuine in my wishes to be severed from Thylea forever. My only wish is for you to see that one day as well, survive, and leave me be. Maybe I don't deserve a happy ending, but I really want it. So I'm going to make it happen. Good luck.
I know you will.
Brisa.
Good luck to you.
Finally, a true goddess of dragons, not just a pretender.
She does
Damn,
not.
she called you a poser.
She won't pass that one on to Valis. Yeah,
And then
that's
we're
just
back
yeah.
in the normal scene.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it is all done, right?
Feels like it. Oh, shit.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say something vulnerable yet brave.
I have to say it. It's not going to come across that way. Just wanted to, but please, go ahead.
I'm happy that it worked. I'm terrified that we were able to do it immediately after becoming a god.
Isn't that what Godhood is about? You get to do whatever
Right.
you want?
Yeah, but I'm not trying to downplay how excited I am that this worked. But the fact that Carpathos spent aeons trying to figure it out and couldn't do it, and then we immediately did it.
But it says
I don't
better
know.
than Carpathos. She's a goddamn goddess.
Right? No, I know. It just is scary. I'm just scared.
Not to mention, apparently Lutheria wanted to let go, which she probably didn't before. So,
It is true. She did not oppose the magic that was there.
I'm happy,
There's a
guys. I'm
twist.
genuinely happy. I just, it's.
I didn't expect that.
Maybe.
I figured Lutheria
Does-
would just fuck us over from afar.
I mean, I did oath with her that I wouldn't come after her.
Oh, good. Okay, just
well,
you though.
that meant,
It's an
honestly,
entire mountain
you
worth of
saying that,
drugs.
you saying that, and all of my fears are gone now, because now I understand why it worked.
But at the same time, she kind of like showed me that like gods can create oaths now. So now I can do oaths again. Isn't that wonderful? Like I am so excited.
God.
Yanni cast wish.
Yeah.
I won't make it. for
Lyra,
everyone,
undo it,
but-
undo it, undo it, undo it.
I don't think I can. I think you're the one that has to undo it.
No, I can't. I can't wish.
I wish that Yanni could cast wish.
Okay. And now I'm gonna need prednisone. All right. That's nuts. Yanni kind of looks around. So,
Yeah, it's definitely
heavy
heavy atmosphere.
does Leto still look like she could use some healing coming off of that, or
No,
okay.
after Brissa does a divine cure wounds. No, she looks hearty, hale. Hardy?
Harthy? Hardy?
He's on fire.
Oh,
This Mo is on fire.
oh god.
It's Hunger Games now, people.
All right. Well, while some of that was going on, I would have recovered my 9th level spell slot.
Green energy just washes over the mountainside. Even the trickster goes kind of whispering to himself as the energy kind of shoots back into your veins. Your eyes glow for a second and then slowly die down.
All right. Who's next? Valis, you want another go?
She gives you a little bit of a look. We have our true goddess of dragons now. I will faithfully serve her in Paladine.
Fair.
She goes, just fucking kidding, make me a goddess. This time for real, what's up? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, if we made any of them back into a god, she'd be the one.
Yeah. All right. Who's next?
I'm just
Lyra.
gonna elbow
Daphne.
Lyra. Push
Darian.
Lyra.
Darian goes rock, paper, scissors.
I rock,
Wizard's
paper,
box.
scissors, but on shoot, I punch her in the face. No.
Or you just head face, so you know what she's gonna choose.
Oh, that's true. I look
It's
into
just
the
like
future.
back and forth,
I
and you guys
see-
like keep hesitating. It's like,
Yeah, rock, paper, scissors between two fates. It's just a game that never ends.
man, we both know you guys would choose scissor. Anyway, so what are you doing?
We would
to
both
get her-
choose scissor, and intentionally we would go.
That's right. That's it. Thank you. Thank you for making 15-year-olds me happy. Thank you.
Fancy's gonna need a minute.
Listen, you guys are a throuple, all right? You didn't get to consummate yet.
No. Daphne would look at us in disappointment. She would not be involved.
Just on the cuck chair, but just shaking her head. You don't know what that is,
Damn.
Damon? Good luck. Good luck with that Google search.
Huh?
I feel like that's probably the easiest thing for someone to figure out what it is, just with context clues.
Easy.
Yeah. No. I'm.
It's a low
I'm
bar.
good.
It's a very low bar. It's in hell. It's like a guy being a decent dad.
Pitor.
Anyway.
Yeah, Peter, where you at?
Vitor has entered the chat.
Scissors.
I
Bug
did
out.
Vitor. Hey. Okay. All right. I guess it's me. I guess I'm next. I think we've stalled long enough with the
Oh,
scissor
Brissa.
talk.
Oh, my Brissa. Oh, man.
Well, she's not my god. Yeah, I'll go next. I'm not a dragon
It's true.
yet. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right, Paladine as well.
All the gods are just gonna be dragons now. It's the
feel like
inversion
that'd be
of
like
Odyssey of the Dragonlords. Get it?
That'd be like an insult to like Thylea, like, oh no, just kidding. I'm gonna
Right. It's like,
Be a
actually, I'm gonna
greater
pray to
god.
Paladine. Thanks. Now that I know he's in the picture.
There are other gods out there? Hello.
Gotta shop around.
Oh my god, when I become a god, I can start a god harem.
You can go, oh my me.
I could scream my own name when I'm sleeping with people.
You already
Okay,
did that.
That might have been
All right,
the most
I'm done,
Tyler
I'm
thing
done.
I've heard
I'm
Tyler
probably
say.
Oh my god.
Alright. I walk up. What do I gotta do, Yanni? Do I have to... She starts undressing.
Whoa. Not strictly necessary. I'm not saying you can't, but you don't have to. It's up to you.
Whoosh.
I'll still only be touching your head. This one.
That's the only one she has.
I'm not sure how things work with you.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh.
It'll be crazy when she's a god.
Slanesh? Is Lyra just gonna become Slanesh?
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Alright.
All right, it's gonna be interesting.
Okay. Anyways.
Tyler, what does it look like? And really both of you, Damon and Tyler, what does it look like as Yanni uses the spell for the second time today, shattering fabric of reality once again, consuming a second, spark of divinity?
Oh, he keeps having to bat her one wing away. It's like, leave it, I'm back, keep trying to reach it. But
Not the first time she heard that.
Look, when you have full control of your wings, you can do some things with them that people aren't aware of.
well, then keep it out of the way.
Also not the first time she heard that.
But otherwise, it's the same as it was with Lyra from Yanni's perspective. He stands behind her and kind of creates the little halo.
Oh. Is that what the kids call it nowadays? All right. Lyra, walk us through your ascension.
Well, I think on the part of how does it look with Yanni and Lyra, I think out of everyone, even though Lyra obviously cares about everyone, she has the utmost, 100% trust in Yanni still. He is the person that she trusts the most out of the entire group. So I think she just crisscross applesauces and just sits right in front of Yanni instead of trying to stoop down or something. She just sits on the ground so that she's at the level with him.
I mean, it takes an hour, so that's probably your best bet.
Yeah.
Makes it more comfortable.
Unless you're a professional catcher in baseball or something, then maybe.
Jeez. Lyra is a professional catcher. So
That's why I specified.
she could be on her knees for a while. So it definitely is I don't know the best way to explain it, but she almost looks the most relaxed that you've ever seen her the entire time that we've been on this whole journey, just because she knows that it's Yanni and she feels safe in that brief moment in time.
And Lyra feels love for the first time. I'm just kidding.
Well, not for the first
Starts
time.
to chuckle to himself and
Plenty of
pulls
people
out
have
his
told her
dagger
that they love her.
Oh no.
And Lyra saw it coming the whole time, and she just looks him in the eyes and says, I knew you would do this, Yanni.
And two Yanni. During the hour-long incantation, Darian and you, Daphne, obviously watch with great interest. The not so theoretical question of how this will impact your connection as fates. Lyra potentially severing the string, unraveling the tapestry that you have just so very recently spun.
We didn't even get to consummate. It's fine though.
We can still do that.
It's too
Like
late
during the
now.
hour, Yanni's just like, fucking stand still, Jesus Christ.
I'll just grab Darian's hand and just kind of tense the whole time waiting.
Yeah, we talked about it, even
Yeah.
though it was brief. We talked about it. If
Yeah,
it
we
does
did,
happen, Daphne becomes the new leader until we all become gods, and then we get
Yeah.
to be a threesome again.
Yep.
You know what?
If it stays intact, that's a bonus.
I feel like it would be in character, and correct me if I'm wrong. Darian would say, "Can we hold hands?
Oh,
Can we
she
do the
absolutely
three
would.
fates
Yeah.
just for the last
Yeah.
moments?"
Yeah.
As you guys all
Oh,
eat
like with
crisscross
me?
applesauce, as the three of you just, complete your coven. You're hags now. Congratulations.
Yes, yes.
Tags out there.
There's a spell now in new D&D that like you can make a coven. But anyways,
That's awesome.
Okay.
Yanni, as you encant and with perfection recite this incredibly imagine saying something perfectly for an hour straight without a single mess up. That's what Yanni's doing. The concentration, the perfection that goes into that is unparalleled. He is the greatest wizard of all time.
and Lyra fully believes that.
As you do that, Yanni, you see as the three fates close their eyes and almost seem to sway back and forth with your incantation of the spell. You see as between their hands and around their hands, on their forearms, their shoulders, connecting their heads, are strings of fate that hover around them, like a halo binding them together, swirling around. And you see potential. A bond between all three. A bond that could be empowered with your own connection to Thylea. Supercharged. Awakened.
Do I have enough mental agility to explore that while casting?
Listen, you're level 20 wizard, Harry. Go to make me an arcana check.
33?
As you cast, you suddenly realize the potential. Much like what you had seen before with unlocking, there's so many secrets contained within what being a fate truly means. So many things that if they had enough time, they could probably figure out themselves, but you look at that and you look at that potential. And you think that you might be able to awaken that. Make the bond work between all three, combined with the theogenesis.
Yeah, I'll try it. We need all the help we can get.
Daphne, what do you think, in your heart of hearts, your relationship with Thylea is these days?
Oh. Oh, that's a loaded question. I mean, before Daphne was aware of the plans set out for her, she felt like her role in Thylea was to be a protector. She always wanted to protect what she loved and the land that she loved. But I think now more than ever, she just feels like a weapon. And I think it's kind of almost a full circle thing of becoming the Forge Master and then becoming the weapon. So I think she's still definitely going to be a protector, but now she is more used. How else to put it? Still willing, though, if that makes sense.
Lyra, Daphne, and Darian suddenly find themselves within the cave of the Fates, the pool sitting at the center of this cave. None of the human-faced maggots squirming about. The tapestry empty. And in fact, they're not even the bones of the dragon that usually function as the pinpoints for the tapestry. The three of you look at each other, and Lyra, in that moment you realize that the connection between the other two affected the ascension. Something is possibly different here. As the three of you look at each other, you suddenly see that the pool between the three of you begins to rumble and boil. And slowly, out of the water, you see muck-slicked black hair starting to, like the top of the crown of a head starting to emerge. You see swamp water covered olive skin starting to rise up. As you see what appears to be a young woman ascend out of the depths of this water. If you didn't know any better, just a nymph. The difference being that this one seems to have 3 eyes. This young woman looks between the three of you, nods. She turns towards you, Lyra. And that is where we're going to take our break. Right, see you guys here shortly. We're back live. Hi, everybody. We had left off as the three fates had been entwined throughout the process, the hour-long ritual to turn Lyra into a goddess. And Yanni saw potential there, rolled well enough that he actually created a connection between the three of them to cause a connection event. Daphne, Darian, and Lyra now find themselves within the cave on the island of the Fates, or at least that's what your minds are constructing here. Out of the water came bubbling a young nymph-like woman. 3 fully developed eyes, unlike even just the titans before. Her eyes glance over all 3 of you, a green glow bright within them. She opens her hand, and you can see that the fate strings all seem to kind of coalesce together into the world that is Thylea, and then become translucent. The sphere displaying you 3. As you stand there, considering her, she seems to be considering you through that. Yes, nunchucks. And as she and as she kind of considers and looks over all of you, you know that this is an iteration of Thylea before you. A different version of her made incarnate, one that you can grasp, understand.
Well, I guess we don't have to pray to you.
She turns towards you and she goes, "You have prayed to me your entire life."
I don't know what we're supposed to do. I thought Yanni was just gonna cast a spell and then it just worked.
Well, there was like that awkward moment with like Brissa afterwards. I think this is that where like she talked to Paladin. New gods don't know that.
When you are so much of a paladin, even your god name is just Paladine.
I mean, get a little creative, my dude. I don't know.
You literally got free reign, my guy. You can name yourself whatever you want.
The 80s were a wild time, man.
You just added E's to things, man. It's just an E at the end, like Shopee.
The 80s? Oh, so you mean Paladine named himself Paladine and only guys could pray to him? That's 80s D&D.
No, that's AD&D.
Were there even Paladin? Anyways, we're getting...
Yes, there were. But they were very different.
None of us are paladins anymore. I look at Daphne.
She looks towards her. But that was my choice. She brought me this scroll. She wanted to be this. And she pulls out the Oathbreaker. It's just like all the class details on it. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Sometimes even a god is bound by the things the heroes bring before them.
That was even too meta for Zuckerberg. But anyway.
Nice. She suddenly has these like big chunky glasses on her face and just swipes at the air.
God. I want off this. We're gonna do much of it. Alright. Hi. Like the new form.
She smiles at
Lyra, I'm saying your lines.
Wait, I'm supposed to be saying this? I didn't get a script.
I didn't either. Surprise.
I thought it was just gonna be... Oh, Thylea, can you make us into gods, please?
Do we really have to say the... Sorry, keep going, keep going.
I'll still say please if I have to say please.
Oh
I-
yeah, please.
Yeah.
We're polite here. I just don't want to chant.
It is this reverence that made me want to pick you in the first place.
Why did that feel like a backhanded compliment?
I'm used to it.
Because it is. But don't change. Isn't it funny how they call us irreverent? Bitchy. They call us so many things to justify treating us differently. Which looks between all three of you. They want us subservient. They want us demure and mindful. So that we don't rebel when they strike us. So that we raise their children. So that they never have to lift a finger. We are the source of all life. And yet it is men who think themselves to be everything. So I don't want you to pray to me. But I want you to show me what you will become. If I am to make you into what you ask me to be, I've walked you all this time to the precipice of your potential. Maybe it is time that you stop following a string and choose your own paths. To be strong, to be independent, but also, she looks across all three of you, to share the burden. She turns to you, Lara. She hovers over the water, and for a second, it's weird. All the walls of the island just fade away. It's like you're just becoming incredibly small, but then you realize everything is just darkness, and then stars seem to shine through. Her face is now everything within your viewpoint. She is super massive as the third eye seems to just swallow you inside of its massive gaze as it looks down upon you. And it is her thoughts that bear into you, unmake you, destroy you. As she just reaches out and says, "What do you want to be?"
It's like a whole list of stuff.
So indecisive, funny, weak. Is that what you want to be in your future, Lyra? The goddess of indecisiveness? The goddess of making jokes?
I mean, no.
Then what? And the eye rolls to the size of a planet in your view. The iris bearing down upon you, the iris itself the size of a continent. The darkness threatening to just absorb you. Why should I grant you ascension? What will you become? Forget what you have been. What is your potential?
I think Lyra is overwhelmed. And so she doesn't speak.
Lara, make me an insight check if you would.
Forgot I'm good at those now.
With a dirty 20, you see something here. Unbridled rage. It is like vengeance distilled into a knife's edge. And just this feeling of rage, kind of cold rage, kind of reverberating throughout you. You gather something in this moment, Lara. Not just about your predicament of Thylea being this morphed version of herself, and to make this very clear for you as a player above table, what Thylea was has been morphed over the eons. What she is now, this sliver that has resurrected within her, is not the true Thylea that you know. The Thylea potential that you have seen, this seems to be one of the many aspects, one of the many shards of Thylea throughout. This is probably the most cogent one, the one that has the most desire, drive, and focus. But you saw the creative Thylea, you saw the kind and gentle Thylea, you saw the iterations, and even Desdemona didn't feel like this. But this is a direct connection to the core that is Thylea. And that makes you realize multiple routes of potential, however you interpret that as a player, as a character. This is like the Thylea that wants to see the world burn. If that is the cost to defeat and kill Kentimani. But it's not the only Thylea you have seen, you have experienced, you have worshipped and loved. But how do you soothe vengeance incarnate?
Okay. So she still doesn't talk. And I think she starts to cry, but it's not like a scared cry. It's just like overcome with emotion. Like, you know how you just get so overwhelmed that you just can't not cry? It's like that. And she tries to will her thoughts to be seen by Thylea, and she just thinks of every moment that something has happened that has made her in this situation that she is today, and every bad thing that has happened. So her brother dying, Kyra dying, her family dying, Acastus dying, when we were betrayed by some of the people that we trusted the most, seeing Mitros on fire after we got back from the Tower of Sidon. And she thinks of all of those times, but she changes them in her mind to situations where if she got this power and had this power, she would have changed it. She would have intervened, protecting her family, protecting her brother, saving Mitros, saving Kyra. Just all of the ways that she would have used this power if she had already had it to protect the people that she cares about and save the people that she cares about. And then at the very end, she just pictures 3 of them, Daphne, Lyra, and Darian, striking the final blow against Kentamane. And doing that for Thylea, and finishing that for Thylea. So she wants it to be not necessarily a picture of revenge, but basically a montage of protection.
What happened, from your viewpoint, Daphne, is that suddenly the head grew large, but then the 3 eyes were all that remained, and one of those massive planetoid-sized eyes started to focus on you, and another one started to flow towards Darian as Lyra just disappeared from view behind one of the eyes, as one of these massive green eyes bears down upon you as well. A weapon?
Oh.
Is that
Yeah.
all that you think you are? A tool to be used by someone, like the man that used you. When you were
Wait, didn't have to
nothing
bring-
more than the woman that kept his house, made his meals, and endured his belittlings?
Shut up. You're getting belittled yourself right now. I don't need
You get a planetoid-sized side-eye. I think that's rolls back to me.
Alright. Well, I mean, kind of hard to not view it that way when it's viewed as you're playing with our fate to ensure that happened. But I don't regret it. I'm not upset or hurt by it. I don't think the sword is upset when it's forged for its purpose. And I think, like, thinking back, her bringing up that fun stuff, she just remembers feeling reborn almost when she had lit his studio ablaze and just felt alive again, surrounded by that fire. And then again, like, there's just been these moments with Daphne where fire seems to be an element of a new turn for her. And
Pippa's is
constantly, well, you know, sure. Well, other fires too, but yeah, okay. I'm not gonna make it about the man right now, David.
You know what? Touche.
I'm not gonna make it about him. Oh my god.
Can't take him anywhere.
True.
But the element of fire and just the want for justice, the drive for justice, it's almost engulfed her at this point. She wants justice for what happened to Thylea, but she also wants justice for what everything Lutheria did, and how she hates that she just got to go free. She hates that Carpathos has been freed. She just wants justice, and I think between the fire and the justice, I think a theme that I've had for her for a while, it's just like blue flames and just like holy fire. But you know, you gotta be careful still, because the fire can definitely fucking burn, and the justice system doesn't always work.
To a
So
lawyer?
keeping that-
Oh my god, right.
Keeping that
right at the
breaker.
justice system. Man. Her eye swivels towards Darian. Darian? Just fucking with you, Elena.
Elena, quick, take more time.
Let me ban for you too. Okay. Tyler Clancy. I'd like you both to roll me a D100, please.
I don't want to go
You want me
first.
to
I don't want to
Okay,
go
okay,
first.
I can go first. Okay.
Okay.
I also rolled for Darian.
Okay, but what was it?
Yeah.
Because if it was a divine intervention, Elena's still gonna be pissed.
No, it was as
Oh shit! Oh shit!
It was an anti-divine intervention.
Oh shit! I still don't know if high is good or bad.
I don't know.
I think Brissa rolled like a 30.
Yanni.
Brissa rolled an 86.
No, last week, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
For Ascension.
Rolling low is not good in this. Rolling really low could cost you the ability to ascend.
Got it.
Yanni, you pull back as the fate strings have completely enveloped the three of them. Like a massive sphere of string, cocooning them into a protective, glowing, weirdly like fabric-covered ball. And the energy inside seems to shimmer and shift around. Tyler, what's Lyra's color motif?
I feel like her main colors have definitely been purple and gold this whole time.
All right. Clancy, what do you think your color motif is?
I mean, I think hers has always been blue and that mithril silver.
And then there's Darian's. As those colors shimmer and shift all throughout this cocoon. And then there is a ripping sound as the three of you are reborn. And Yanni, for a moment, you have that sickening feeling again, because there is a resonance that travels through, almost like a flashback of a memory of you being devoured and reborn, changing your fate as the fates.
he vomits a little bit again.
Don't throw up on me.
Just right on top. Like, God damn it! First thing that happened to Lyra when she was a god: throw up.
I just have an aura that keeps it off of me.
All three of you glow in new colors. The horns are still there. The wings are still there. And you all feel a connection between the three of you. Almost like you're sharing this godhood between. You're gods in your own rights. But there's a connection between the three of you. A trifecta. A holy trinity, if you will.
Oh my god, we're Jesus.
That's just one of them. That's just one thing, right? No.
Which one of us is the Holy Spirit?
I mean, Darian, because she's only here in spirit right now.
Oh my god,
Oh
you're
my
right.
god!
Yes.
I did, if you would allow me, I don't have artwork because I'm not as prepared as Brissa, but I did think about if there was a change, what it would look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was not going to get rid of the horns or the wings because they are
You like
important
horns and
even
wings are pretty
to Lyra.
useful. I get it.
And I think the tattoos are still there, the carvings. But Lyra, I think she has foregone the rest of her sirenhood, since she's technically a fiend now. So if you look at Lyra as soon as she comes out of the fate string cocoon, her hair is almost to her feet and still black, but it almost looks like, you know, in like 2007, 2008, when girls were putting tinsel in their hair because that was the trend to do. It's kind of like that. So there's like gold string just interlaced in her hair. There's some parts that are braided with string. There's some parts that it's just loose string in between actual strands of hair. And her eyes are still golden, but it's almost like a brighter gold than it used to be. And the rest of her form is just like a human woman. She no longer has bird feet. She no longer has the feathers on her shoulders. And she's still wearing her toga, but in true Aphrodite fashion, it has become sexier. So it's cinched at the waist with a belt, and it cuts off at a slant right above the knee. But she's still wearing a toga.
Is it like a little bit more transparent now? Like somehow?
It's not transparent, but no matter how long you look at her and how long she has been out in the open, she does constantly have a sheen of baby oil on her skin.
Okay. All right.
I can't make that joke. Nope.
Nope. But yeah, I think she if you were to see her now, you would never assume she used to be a siren because she's in the wings.
Daphne.
I also did not think about new character art at all. No.
I'm not getting new art because I love our art now.
Yeah.
But this is what she looks like now.
No, that's fair. I think she has that little bit of demigod glow back to her. That's something that she was missing.
I get it. Oh, no.
Do you think now that we're gods, we could kill the omnipotent being that's running the story?
Alright. God damn it.
She doesn't have to change
Sales.
necessarily if you don't want her to.
Oh, no, like I had a thought. It's... Yeah, I think she just has like a little bit of that glow back. Yeah. I don't think she's necessarily changed too much. She's just a little bit more herself again.
Does she still have the running mascara?
No. Absolutely not. If nothing else, then to get rid of those god-awful memes you guys keep sending.
Gothney! You will be missed, Gothney!
Awful. This is the healing journey I need. Stop making memes of her.
And mind you, all my silliness aside to add levity to the end of the game, she can look however she wants to. That's all three of you, right? You're gods now. Genuinely, what do you think Daphne, in her heart of heart, sees herself as?
I see, that's the thing. I think right now, what she is still a fate. There is just a little bit more of that justice and the fire side to it, of which the fire is going to come out a little bit more in the way that she moves, the way that she attacks. Right now, though, she's just feeling better. She's more confident. She has a little bit more of that wind back in her sails. And yeah, the fucking goth makeup is gone. No more gothing.
Yeah.
And Darian,
feel
what do
like
you look
the-
like?
I feel like the easiest way to put it would be if you took hot Lyra with the horns and the wings and just imagined that she is the Thylean inspiration for the Thylean version of the Birth of Venus painting. That's what she looks like.
Actually, sorry. Hold on. Can I just say that Daphne somehow looks sexier than Lyra? There we go. If I can be anything.
I don't think
I'm
that's
kidding.
possible.
I'm joking. I know it's not possible.
Beholder, right? It's
There you
called
go.
the Eye of Beholder.
Why are we bringing beholders into this? I feel like
Not beholders. Yeah, there's just a group of them, and they're like, Lyra's the hottest.
It's like panels. They hold up like fucking judges, numbers, and shit like that. Oh my god! It's just AIDS turned
No, they've-
sideways.
You've got all these anti-magic cones on you now, and so the effects of the ambrosia fade, and Daphne is the hottest one. That's how it works.
Actually, I feel like our charisma scores are probably the same
I
now.
think they are the same. So,
I mean, you can get yours to 30. She can't. So there's that.
That's
Ambrosia
true.
will do
That's
that.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Would.
The three of them are glowing in their own rights, whether it is baby all enhanced or not. Yanni, you have made 4 gods this day. Because last session wasn't enough. We had to we had to triple down.
Sure.
I will say with your 33 from earlier, you realize that you took 1 spark and split it across 3. You do believe that there will be a different dynamic with those 3 than there was, for example, with Brissa. Yet at the same time, they're also enhanced in ways that Brissa is not. A give and take. Mechanically, players above table. We'll talk about that after session more. You guys will share the ability to cast the wish spell. Like a coven. In that way. You all get your physical enhancements. All that stuff will happen. You'll get your special attacks and stuff like that. So the stat block for a what we talked about will stay the same. But the wish will be shared amongst all 3 of you. If one of you casts it, the others feel the effect as well. So keep that in mind as you guys go forward. But that way, it only costs you guys 1 spark instead of 3 separate sparks. If you guys don't like that plan, kill some gods, get some extra sparks. Yanni can always do a little enhancing.
Well,
I got nothing else to do.
I don't dislike it. I'm just wondering how it works. We have so many ways to cast Wish now.
I mean, I wasn't going to mention that, but yeah.
I would
So
assume he
if
meant just like the God Wish.
The God of Wishes, you become a genie.
So we have a goddess of oaths, a goddess of wishes, a goddess of polyamory.
Hell yeah. What is your domain, Clancy? What is it?
Either fire or justice. I don't know.
Why not both? I mean, you know, all the Viking gods were like god of war and so, you know.
Can I make that particular gif my domain, actually?
The Elmo with the fire in the
Yeah,
background.
that's my domain. It's just that. That's a god I could worship.
I
Or
wanna say something like righteous and good, like Lyra is the goddess of protection and compassion, but she probably is the goddess of
pregnancy.
she's the goddess of self-indulgence.
Yeah. Hedonia, some call her.
and then who knows what Darian is? I mean,
I don't know. She's the goddess,
Goddess
of being
of
able to
seeing
see
really
really
good.
good.
Yeah, she's the goddess of omniscience, not because she's super smart, just because she can sense all of it.
It's
Tyler, I love you.
amazing. She's gonna murder us.
Good thing though, she's far away now.
She's on a plane.
Yeah.
But her
I was,
favorite way.
I was gonna say goddess of dark rooms.
See, her favorite way to be worshipped, though, is if one of her priestesses finally finds one of the bad boys and girls and fixes them.
Yep.
The goddess of being able to see really good.
Oh, man.
Lena, we love you.
Now we get to kill shit. Well,
Oh.
Yanni's gonna be a god first.
Yeah,
You
be a
think?
god, Johnny.
No.
Oh no, peer pressure! Peer pressure!
He can if he wants to. We
Some
have a
people were
spark
born when I
left.
was in high school. Oh.
Oh,
We have a spark left now, technically. So
Yeah.
Yanni, are you okay? You've thrown up twice. Are you?
Yeah,
are
do
you
you
also
need-
a nervous puker like I am? Because
Apparently, I didn't used to be.
well, I mean,
does anyone have a calm
pretty big.
emotions?
ooh, you
No,
know
the
what?
first
I
time
lost
was
that.
just kind of the realization of what we did.
Xanax?
The second time was more because of that. I just was overcome with the sensation of what I must have felt being reborn the first time,
Ooh,
which was pretty disturbing.
trauma. Maybe you need to talk to the Theratree about that.
Dallas, do you have any of that magical
Yes.
Xanax that you gave me that one time?
The
Go see how you
Theratree's
go.
on a plane right now.
Oh, shit, I don't have that
shoot,
power
She
anymore.
is. Oh,
Oh,
She's on the astral plane traveling somewhere.
It is now the
Yeah.
light of therapy.
Theratree.
Theratria.
Yes.
Damn it.
Oh my god.
Can I give people magical Xanax now?
Sure.
I poop
Yanni,
Yanni
yeah.
on the,
Costs-
I
it costs
poop
a
Yanni on
wish,
the
but-
nose.
Yeah.
Boop.
Yanni,
One level of exhaustion, everybody goes like, fuck.
Yanni's a little torn, a little conflicted right now. Kind of walks over to Valis. Can I ask you a question?
She just gives you a smile.
Is it-
Nice.
You never wanted to be a god, right? It was just kind of thrust on you by your mother.
I suppose I could have said no, but yes.
And now I mean, I would literally cast the spell on you if you wanted it, but you've said you don't. Why? Why not?
I grew very used to being this. In fact, I spoke with it at length with Kyra at times. It is weird being a dragon again, after having been this for so long. In fact, I almost prefer to be this now, to look like this, to feel like a human. Part of me felt that way about being a god. I was terrified of the day that I knew I would lose my godhood. But I always took solace in it. To know that my gifts would be temporary, that my blasphemy, as I looked at it for a long time, was something that would only last so long. That if I were to serve Paladine in my afterlife, to ascend to something greater, then it would be earned, not stolen.
It's I totally understand that. It is a bit of a different perspective than what I'm facing.
It is. You did rip the spark from something else that had it, but you earned it. You took it.
I guess on some level I am concerned about the whole earning it aspect.
It's just philosophy, Yanni. At the end of the day, I suppose it's what defines our souls, but semantics.
But ultimately, I'm nervous that if I ascend myself, that I'll give in to the temptations to do things that aren't in anybody's best interest but my own. And I don't want to go back to being that person. That's how I lived for a big chunk of my life.
I was terrified to try to use my powers in the beginning. There is a philosopher that spoke about something that he called the butterfly theory, that a butterfly flapping its wings on the southeastern corner of Thylea would cause a massive storm on the northwestern side, because everything is interrelated. If you asked me, I think he spent a little bit too much time in the old woods. I think it is what paralyzed me. I think I thought that if I overdid something, my actions could cause the death of thousands. But you know what I regret now more than anything? That I did not do enough. I look at the last 500 years of my godhood, and I see nothing but wasted time. Sure, I laid groundwork and tried to mend wounds and helped people, but in the end I could have done more. I had 500 years. And I barely moved the needle. I didn't get rid of... wasn't able to get rid of slavery. I couldn't help the people of Erisia and Mitros see their commonalities. I let Themis fall into chaos and cast down their true queen because of politics and again being so paralyzed with what if and what if people realize who I really was and not using my potential but always thinking, always worrying about tomorrow. They called me the goddess of wisdom when really they should have called me the goddess of anxiety, of paralysis. Don't be me is the only wisdom I can give you. Don't be paralyzed with fear of the what ifs. Just be better. Do better than we did. And whether you make mistakes or not, that is how you will learn and grow. Because even the gods do that. There are some cultures who believe, I think, that gods are omnipotent and omniscient and all good and infallible. But the gods that we have, the gods that we were and could become, are just very, very powerful sentient entities. Immortal and flawed. And if you accept your flaws, you will see the flaws in the mortals that you aim to guide and steer and protect. And maybe you can do what I failed to do. create that better tomorrow that I always dreamt of.
If it were, if you were the one that had to cast the spell, would you trust me with that power?
Without hesitation.
Okay. Okay. I wouldn't doubt that wisdom thing too much. I think you've got plenty.
Thanks, Yanni. Maybe it's time someone else takes that mantle, though. That title. Looks
All
like
right.
Daphne still is a goddess with the wine. Okay.
Listen, I gotta be like my father in some ways, I guess.
Oh god, it's not again.
Mm-hmm. Part 2.
No, don't breathe it. Don't breathe it.
Hey, at least it seems like she's in a pretty committed relationship this time around. So, you know.
Yikes.
Hey! Alright. Alright, this ain't about me. This is about you, Yanni.
Anyway. Yanni can be a little oblivious to some of that romance stuff if you guys haven't noticed.
What?
What?
No. What about
All right.
now? Now that Lyra's gone on, what does he think?
Has this
I liked
been
you better
Lyra's
with-
name?
I liked you better with chicken legs.
He
Did
throws
Tyler
all the
disconnect,
birdseed
or
over
is-
the edge of the cliff.
Tyler was so still, I wasn't sure.
Lyra wishes herself out of existence, and in doing so, gives Daphne and Darian a level of exhaustion.
Yanni resists change pretty hard, you know. Okay, alright. Alright, with the encouragement of the former goddess of wisdom, I'm gonna do this, because I think we're gonna need every edge we can get, but if I get too full of myself, somebody wish this away, okay?
Okay.
I think Lyra, because she's still just overwhelmed, even though now she's a god, is just going to run up and just like bear hug Yanni.
I thought you were going to say bitch slap for a second there for the chicken legs comment.
No, no, she would never. She just envelops him, like wings spread out, wraps around,
Aw.
just as much of an embrace as she could possibly muster. And she'll just stay there until she can feel Yanni start to try and end the hug.
Okay. Alright. First I need to... Boy, this might sap me. I've never tried to do this twice in a day before. So, first things first, he'll use the epic boon and try to make the save. See what happens.
Gonna roll the things.
Oh, that is not a save. I'm gonna try again with my inspiration.
As Lyra just goes, no.
Oh, on the
Hey!
On the nose.
On the nose. I mean, I would have just burned 2 charges out of the caduceus to remove the levels, but
Well, here's the thing. Secretly,
We have greater
I was-
restoration.
Secretly, I was looking at this. Technically, we could just have Brissa come over here and join the bear hug, because you have a +9, and then you would get her paladin save bonus, and I could just make your roll a 15, so you would have succeeded.
it's all good. It's all good.
Well earned, Damon. Well earned.
Yeah. No, good job rolling exactly a 25.
That was pretty good. Right. As for the second time today, the green energy washes over the entire mountain. You actually hear some rock crack. Some of the trees seem to almost grow wilder and thicker and seem to kind of grow outward. The rock itself seems to almost become more jagged as it rushes into you again. And it is such a phenomenal feeling that maybe it's kind of scary to think what could happen if you got addicted to that kind of a rush of power reinvigorating you day after day. But you're reinvigorated. There's suddenly a little mirror that appears just on the ground. It's weird.
Yanni actually staggers for a moment this time. He senses that he's toying with forces that maybe he's not as comfortable with as he thought he was. Okay. All right. Trying not to make a touch myself joke.
I was wondering if you're going to have to hold a halo over your own head for an hour.
I don't think so.
Actually, yes, page 13 of the spell specifically states
Oh.
that.
All right. He sits down. Full lotus, no crisscross applesauce here. He's full lotus because he's got a good enough dexterity for that.
Just wait.
So that's why Lyra's so interested.
Taking notes over there. Whom do you pray to, Yanni?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because honestly, I was not planning to go down this path. Because I figured I'd just use the.
It's an oops all gods campaign.
Well, I figured I'd use the other spark to ascend one of the other fates, and so I really wasn't planning on this.
Keep thinking for a second. I have a little bit that I need to lean in. As all of this is happening, you suddenly see a group of heroes run up the stairs and they go, There are the BBGs who are trying to ascend! We have to stop them! As they kind of rush over, Hephaestus just waves his hand and they all disappear. He goes, Don't worry, they're all okay.
Was it a little red fighter, a little blue rogue, a little white mage, and a little blue mage with a brown hat?
Naturally.
Awesome. Gosh, I don't know who he would pray to. I think at the risk of being completely unoriginal, he would have to pray to Thylea too, because he feels like this was part of her plan.
You find yourself in a cavern as well, but this cavern seems to be well lit. Golden light is refracting off of the bone white walls, giving it all kind of like a soft yellow sunset kind of glow. And you quickly realize why it looks like that. For you, for the second time in your lifetime, seem to find yourself within the cavernous chest cavity of Belmitria. On the opposite end of the hall, maybe some 20 feet away from you, you see a silver dragon curled up, one horn broken off and missing, as she turns towards you and looks at you and says, Yanni.
Belmitria? Why are you here?
Between you, suddenly a figure appears. And now Yanni sees the young woman with olive skin and 3 eyes, black hair, a purple toga with golden embroidery upon it. She smiles and she looks between the two of you, Belmitria's eyes clearly going wide in her draconic face. There was a reason why I wanted you to collect what remained. Come, Yanni. You waddle over there like a hobbit. As you
Pretty
stand
much.
next to Thylea, she actually takes your hand and looks up to Belmitria. You came to my lands, unbidden, uninvited. You challenged my children, presumptuously, desperately. You tricked my son with deceit and cunning. Well, Madria kind of like nervously looks from side to side. Yes. You are the only mortal that ever truly defeated my children. The first, I should say. She looks over towards Yanni. You laid the groundwork for my freedom. You are a mortal to whom I owe a great debt. Yanni, you spoke with the daughter of this one. You asked questions about wisdom. I challenged my daughters to tell me what they were going to be. Lyra hesitated, as I knew. Daphne was eloquent to the point, as I expected. But Darian's response, it left me speechless. You...
She has that effect.
I mean, she was it for a while. You, Yanni. You, I tortured. The worst, perhaps. I stole your future and your identity. I rebirthed you in the image that I wanted you to be. I took everything from you, and you grew up without the comforts of love, protection, food, and shelter. Daphne said I made her into a weapon. She doesn't understand that she made herself into this. But you, Yanni, you I broke, shattered, and reforged. You're the only one who understands that being a god is a curse, not a gift. You're the only one who did not lust after the power and greedily absorbed it when you could. And you, Balmetria, I watched you hesitate as you played 10 tiles, losing again and again, and the final move that made you win, you almost threw the game on purpose. Why? Balmetria kind of like sits up a little bit more stiffly on her haunches. Because I saw the potential of losing, of ending the conflict, of letting Sidon win, sacrificing myself, my children, and just letting him win, letting it finally rest. And why did you not do this? Mitros. The dragon's head hangs low for a moment as she says,
because I wanted my children to decide. Because I wanted them to have hope. Against all hopelessness that he tried to create. We had come from a dying world. We were newcomers, immigrants to this land, and immediately were hated for what we were. We wanted to reach out. We wanted to help. We did help. And immediately we were struck down, accused of nefarious purposes. It poisoned Estor's mind. It turned him into the villain that Sidon needed him to be. An excuse. I wanted to be better than that. I knew my children would be better than that.
a tear escapes Thylea's left eye, rolls down her cheek. She wipes it away, looking at it almost curiously, cocking her head to the side. Would that I have had children like yours. How should this all play out, Yanni? Thylea turns to you, and even Balmitria's eyes kind of go suspicious, kind of going between you and her, and she kind of looks towards you like, you know, without having to roll an insight check. Balmitria seems to kind of think, this is a dangerous question.
I'm not sure I follow.
It is a simple question for a smart person. Thylea, the land that you stand on, my corpse. What do you think should happen at the end of our little tale?
I think... Well... Are we... Here's what I don't understand. Are we freeing you to live or to rest in peace?
She smiles. I have not decided that myself. I don't know what will happen. I have bent the fate of me for so long. When I look at the end of time, I can't see it. Her three eyes surge across the ground, lost, unfocused. I don't know what will happen. And I'm more excited than I am scared, Yanni. I want to know what will happen at the end of time.
Well, I've spent most of my life, whether it's been the Parisian influence or my own observations, not a fan of gods. Not a fan of really anyone who can exert power unchecked. And it seems like Kentamane is probably the worst among them in that regard, given what I know now.
You say his name, and 1,000 cracks shatter throughout the entire cave. Green light shines through, and you can see flecks of flame. Her eyes are ablaze.
Sorry?
She takes a deep breath. She closes her eyes as the cracks still remain, but the flames recede.
Where I was going with that was if there's any chance he was ever going to wake up for any reason, then putting him down is a good thing.
She nods.
Whether it buys you the chance to live again or to finally find long overdue peace.
It is the question, isn't it? Whether I should live and rise, or pass on and die.
What kind of god were you? You were married to somebody who appears to be pretty awful. Was this one of those classical things where, like, you balanced each other, like you were the good and he was the bad, or?
Thylea cries. Her brilliant eyes look at you. I think I was life. I was creation. I was change. I was birth and rebirth. I was a mother's embrace of her newborn child. And he was always strength and death, protector and annihilator. I loved him. I loved him with all of my heart. I thought I could temper him, balance him, as you said. And I did. I really did. We left the war of the gods behind us. I told him I could create a world just for us. That he did not need to fight anymore, that we could just love. But I think when the excitement of the forbidden nature of our love faded away, he lost all interest in that. I could see him get anxious, chomping at the bit to return to the anger, to the war, to the bloodshed. He never wanted me for me. He wanted me for the trophy that I was, the conquest that I represented.
Seems to be a common problem with men.
Ah, Jan. You are blessed to not have the wiles of the heart steer your ship towards unsafe harbor.
Was that a double entendre?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's a lot of twists and turns in that one, but I'm also glad you're not going to catch syphilis. That is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do need to create a restoration for those, you know. It's very expensive. Unless you're a god.
Or have a caduceus.
That is true. Suddenly there's a bovine-faced humanoid that appears. Hey. T.
Oh, look, the copyright strikes are pouring in.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Taliesin. Thanks for watching, at the very least. That's nice.
I guess to answer your question, what I want to see out of all this, the ultimate outcome of all this, is for all the peoples of Thylea, whether the people who found themselves here by accident, well, the descendants of said people in most cases, I think, but you know what I mean, the immigrants or the native Fae. I want to see them all able to live without fear of their gods, of the powers that be. I want them to be able to make decisions based on what they think is best for them and those they care about. And I want them to be safe from the whims of beings they can't hope to contend with. That's what I want to see out of all this.
So you want to be a god without worshippers? A god without fear?
I don't want to be a god. I feel like I need to be, at least temporarily, to have the best chance of defeating him. Not going to risk another one of those little...
I'm sorry for
magical
that reaction. Makes my
it's okay.
lava boil.
It's fine. But honestly, I will very likely surrender these powers once it's accomplished. I don't trust myself to make the right decisions. And I don't want to hurt anybody. Well, who doesn't deserve it anyway?
I want you to ponder this question and have an answer for me the next time we meet. Something that is selfish of me does not answer the questions that you have raised. I have been tread upon and used for eons. All I want to do, Yanni, is stretch my limbs again
and walk the cosmos. This will mean the end of all that is in this world. I could also let go. Finally let go. Find rest. Eternally. And fade forevermore. And leave all the pain and the trauma for others to pick up. Ponder this question for me, Annie. Have an answer for me when the end of time comes.
Okay.
Oh, and one more thing. Why don't you take her with you?
She looks over her shoulder and looks to Belmitria.
Okay.
Roll me D100.
Oh, that's not good.
Fate dice can now re-roll D100s as well.
I'll give him mine. I'm a god now. I don't need it.
All right, thanks.
Gonna put that on Lyra's tombstone. On the
There we go. 81. I'm a lot
Well,
happier with that.
I get another one tomorrow.
Killing a god in the graveyard.
Oh my god.
Especially right before the Escape the Graveyard one shot. By the way, everybody watching, we're doing a Escape the Graveyard one shot on the Discord server. Come check it out. Everybody watches as Yanni finishes his lotus pose, and there's just a flash of brilliant silver light that begins to expand and start to coil upwards like a sinuous neck as wings start to spread out. And Brissa, there's absolutely a moment where you internally go, motherfucker copied my goddamn style. Fucking hells.
Yeah, I told David to just use the same art.
Yeah.
Just mirror it.
Yeah. Make it smarter.
green ship
I
a little bit.
put some Ray-Ban thick rim black glasses on that version.
Okay.
But they're aesthetic only. You can take them off. You can see without them.
I've got
They
it.
allow you to see invisible things.
Totally. As suddenly before you see, well, last time you saw her, it was Nefel, the clone of Belmitria. But this time, it is Belmitria herself. And for the second time today, Valis is absolutely driven to tears. The poor fucking woman, my god. As Belmitria stretches her massive wings. And sitting upon her back is just a little Yanni. Unless, of course, Damon. What do you think Yanni looks like?
He looks exactly the same.
It's the second time he made that affirmative choice.
His tattoos might glow a little brighter than they did before, but that'd be about it. He looks exactly the same.
Belmitria kind of waves. Valis goes to hug her, Narcissus goes to hug her, and they both just cry like babes as sorry, this is gonna take a while for me too. Belmitria kind of like takes them and puts them in a close hug. And as we now have 5 gods. That's the end of the campaign. They win. They win D&D. That's it. Ascension is the end of D&D. Congratulations, you guys. You have wishes galore. You just wish the end of the campaign. That was it. Congrats. You have won D&D. And it was not advanced. So.
Who had 134? Who had 134?
Going once. Going twice. Well. Motherfucker. You guys are now gods. have some behemoths to take care of, and then face Daddy of all destruction himself.
And a Ghost King.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also Ghost King. I'll say there's also Ghost King. Yeah. He's the aperitif. We'll say.
He's our trial run for our new god powers.
I mean, he can be the traveler. Yeah. So how much we stomp him.
I was more thinking he was the appetizer, but okay, however you want to look at it. That will give us another spark.
That is true. It's just like, you get gotten. Carpathos just somewhere over there like,
See, this is what I was fucking talking about.
as he teleports.
No one can hear you.
No one's listening. La 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 la.
You can hear me from all the way over there.
Oh, are you worshiping?
You know what? Why don't you be a god too?
Oh, are you praying to me? Are you praying to me right now so that I can hear you?
The thing for Carpathos is becoming a god, like the one thing he would hate above all else. Yes. Alrighty, but with that is the end of today's episode. Gods, and some more fucking gods. Well done, y'all. This is definitely the most bananas, overpowered shit that I've ever had in any of my campaigns, but I'm excited for it. Let's see what the fuck you guys are gonna do with it. With that, we'll be back next Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. If there's nerdy stuff that you guys like, hop on over to the Discord server, discord.gg/Paulheater. Come join us with some games. I'm going to be doing a lot of Starfinder one-shots, by the way, throughout November. That's my goal. I'm excited for it. Also, by the way, this is a shout out and a thank you to any of the people who applied to be moderators, staff, and brand reps with us. We're doing a big old hiring drive, and I'm so excited for it. Like the community, what it was 4 years ago, and Clancy was there, and then Damon joined a little bit after that. Actually, Alex, I think, joined first.
Alex first, and then he brought me.
And then Tyler joined. To what it is now is bananas. I mean, it's awesome. You guys make that happen. I mean, I know I say that all the time, so maybe it loses its full meaning, but like I genuinely mean that. You guys are the ones that make that happen, and it is so fucking exciting to have a proper team now. Continue to grow this stuff. This is, people sometimes say like, Polyhedra is your baby. Nah, it's all our babies. This is it takes a whole village to raise kind of a situation now, and I'm excited for it. Anyway, this is gonna be bananas. I'm excited for it, and you guys are gonna be fucking awesome at it. So with that, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.